This, Tank all day, man. Tank all day. He's working. He's working. My money goes to
Calvin Ford isn't interested in debating or indulging in underdog stories or what if scenarios. To him, Lamont Roach is simply another fighter about to face a tough lesson for Tank Davis. This fight is just another day at the office.
Oh, my whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you,
they gonna celebrate with me. Yeah,
don't bring them.
It's gonna be a.
Ford has been around long enough to distinguish between fighters who truly belong at the top and those just passing through. In his view, Roach is another name on the schedule. He's seen fighters like him before confident and eager to prove something, but toughness alone doesn't win fights against a puncher like Tank. Confidence fades after that first solid hit, and game plans go out the window when reality kicks in. Roach's camp may try to hype him up as a real threat, but Ford isn't convinced. He's seen too many opponents come in with big ideas, only to crumble under Tank's power. They try to adjust, but it's too late. That's when panic sets in, legs slow, punches become desperate, and then comes the knockout.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look, he looked at 9th.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a 9th?
Ford isn't stressing over this fight because he sees no real threat or surprises. He doesn't view Roach as a challenge, or rather as a stepping stone, just another name to add to the record. That's the difference between their camps. Roach's team is hoping for an upset, while Ford knows exactly what's coming. There's history between Davis and Roach. They faced off in the amateurs, but that was then. The Davis of today is a completely different beast, sharper, more dangerous, and more experienced in the kind of fights Roach has never been in. Ford knows Roach can fight, but that's not enough. Plenty of fighters can fight, but only a few can survive against Tank, and even fewer can win.
I beat you in the tournament twice. I beat them in the state, and then they did something
beat me
like...
in the regionals. They cheated in Baltimore, took a point from me, fool. Come on. We sent the video to USA Boxing, and they said I should have won. They sent me to the Nationals. That was the only reason why I went.
And then I fought you again, beat you there,
and then
right?
You beat me.
There again.
Then you beat me.
Roach is stepping into unfamiliar territory. He's never faced someone who can end a fight with a single punch or felt the kind of pressure Tank Davis brings. There's a difference between being confident and being prepared, and Ford doesn't believe Roach is prepared. He's seen it all before, the hype, the strategies, and the belief that someone has figured out how to beat Tank. But the truth is simple. There is no key, no safe spot in that ring. Fighters try to box, move, or rough Tank up, but none of it works for long. Once Tank finds his opening, the fight is over.
It's so easy when he fought Frank Martin.
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be...
Ford doesn't need to say much. He's seen the story play out too many times. The other side convinces themselves they have an edge, but once that bell rings, everything changes. The energy shifts, the weight of the moment sets in, and when Tank starts landing, all their plans go out the window. The tension between the two camps is palpable, but it's not equal. Roach's side is looking for respect, trying to prove they belong. Ford, however, doesn't need to prove anything. He's been here before and knows exactly what happens next.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together. And I'm going to be the one, obviously I'm going to be the one coming out.
While Calvin Ford makes it clear that Roach is just another name on Tank's list, Davis himself remains focused. The words, the press conferences, and the outside noise don't affect him. He's in the gym, fine-tuning every aspect of his game, preparing to send another challenger home empty-handed. Tank is known for staying in shape, but this current training camp feels different. There's a sharpness to his work, an intensity that shows he's not just preparing, he's perfecting. Roach may not be the biggest name Davis has faced, but that doesn't mean he's taking him lightly. Every fight is a statement, and Tank makes sure the statement is loud and clear when the fists start flying.
Fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach always, he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's good.
Recently, Davis gave fans a glimpse of what's to come with a viral training clip that left spectators in awe. The 13-second video showing a pad routine with his coach Patrice Harris highlighted Davis's blistering hand speed, rapid-fire combinations, and fluid movement. It was all on display. Reactions flooded in immediately, with one fan commenting, "Now he's looking sharp," while another wrote, "Fastest hands at lightweight." Davis has been in this position before, headlining under the bright lights, carrying the weight of expectations. He thrives in these moments. The Barclays Center will be packed on fight night, buzzing with anticipation, but Tank won't be fazed. He's been here too many times to feel pressure. He's built for this. Roach, on the other hand, is stepping into the unknown. He's had his moments in the super featherweight division, capturing the WBA title from Hector Luis Garcia and defending it against Johnny Gonzalez. But this is different. This is lightweight. This is Davis. The punches will come faster, the power will hit harder, and the fight will demand more than anything Roach has faced before. The fact that Roach has history with Davis from the amateurs is an interesting storyline, but it doesn't carry much weight now. Tank has evolved. He's not the same fighter Roach once shared the ring with. Davis has grown into one of boxing's most lethal finishers, a fighter who closes the show the moment he senses weakness. He's knocked out bigger, stronger, and more experienced fighters than Roach, and if his training is any indication, he plans to do it again. But while Tank is the star of the show, the card itself is stacked with talent. The co-main event features Jose Valenzuela defending his WBA super lightweight title against Gary Enchoen Russell. Russell is looking to redeem himself after a tough loss to Alberto Pello, while Valenzuela aims to prove his title win wasn't a fluke. Further down the card, Josh Taylor will put his WBC super lightweight belt on the line against Sandor Martin. Taylor remains undefeated, but Martin is a tricky opponent, known for retiring Mikey Garcia and giving Teofimo Lopez serious trouble. Martin is still chasing that world champion dream, and this might be his best shot, while Davis remains focused, sharpening his skills for Roach. The outside world hasn't given him a moment of peace, whether training or not. His name is always on someone's lips. The spotlight follows him everywhere, bringing with it the never-ending cycle of admiration and criticism.
And then somebody else taught like his crew. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like. I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they not who they are.
You talk when they talk about that money, that 100 bands.
No, not money per like when they talk.
This isn't new to Davis. He's been living in this world since he first started knocking people out under Floyd Mayweather's banner. Fans will scream his name after a knockout, calling him the best in the world. But the moment he takes time off, the moment he isn't constantly in their faces, the narrative shifts. Suddenly, he's ducking fighters. Suddenly, he isn't as great as they once believed. It's the same game, just a different day. Davis has been watching it all unfold, and now he's speaking on it. He recently took to Instagram to expose just how quickly people switch up. He shared a screenshot of a fan who went from a die-hard supporter to a disrespectful heckler overnight. One day, the fan was in his demons praising him, saying he admired his skills and wanted to train like him. The next, he was calling Davis out, claiming he could beat him in a fight.
You consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it gonna be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all gonna be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
We're both making money. Yeah.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
This isn't just one fan acting out. It's a pattern that plays out over and over again. Fans love a winner, but they love tearing one down even more. The same people who hype a fighter up will be the first to call him a fraud if he isn't. Constantly delivering knockouts or headlining fights is the nature of the sport, but that doesn't make it any less frustrating for those living through it. Davis isn't the type to get caught up in outside noise, but he also isn't one to let things slide. His response to the situation wasn't just about one fan, it was about the bigger picture. It was about how fickle boxing fans can be, how, no matter how much you accomplish, people will always find a way to downplay it.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
Davis's career has been under scrutiny for years. He's heard all the narratives. He doesn't fight the best. He's wasting his prime. He's just a puncher. None of it is new. Yet, when he steps in the ring and does what he does best, the tune changes. When he folded Ryan Garcia with a body shot, the doubters were silent. When he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz, the same critics had nothing to say. But give it a few months and suddenly, they're back at it, questioning him all over again. That's what Davis is addressing, the inconsistency. The way fans latch on to negativity instead of giving a fighter his due. He's seen it happen. The other greats, Floyd Mayweather, lived through the same thing, and so did Canelo Alvarez. Win a fight, and you're the greatest. Take time off, and you're overrated. It's a never-ending cycle. But Davis isn't here to please everyone. He's not chasing validation from fans who flip sides at the first sign of inactivity. He knows his worth and where he stands in the sport. March 1st is just another chance to remind the world that while some fans sit behind screens questy, owning his legacy, he's in the gym putting in the work to add another body to his resume. The critics will always be there, waiting for a slip-up, eager to say, "I told you so." But Davis has seen it all before and knows exactly how to handle it. He doesn't argue or entertain the nonsense. He just lets his fists do the talking. When fight night comes, the same people calling him out now will be right back where they started, cheering his name, even as Davis sets the record straight on the fickle nature of fans. The debates about his toughest opponent continue, but if you ask him, there's nothing to discuss. None of these guys were ever a real problem. One name that gets thrown around a lot is Isaac Cruz. The 26-year-old Mexican brawler has built a reputation as one of the hardest hitters in the lightweight division. His aggressive style, relentless pressure, and ability to absorb punishment have made him a fan favorite. But Davis isn't buying into the hype. To him, Cruz was just another name on the record, another fighter who couldn't get the job done. Pitbull was a cakewalk too, Davis posted on X, making it clear that he doesn't respect the idea that Cruz gave him trouble.
Can't even see who it is. Hey, come on, who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there is why Gervonta Davis fights don't go the distance.
The two fought back in December 2021, and while Cruz avoided the fate of most of Davis's opponents by going the full 12 rounds, he still lost by unanimous decision. The scorecard showed a competitive fight, but not a controversial one. Wow. Fans like to act as if Cruz gave Tank his toughest night. Davis himself has no interest in entertaining that narrative. The reality is Cruz was never supposed to be in that fight. He stepped in on short notice, replacing Rolando "Rolly" Romero, who was originally scheduled to face Davis before being pulled due to legal issues. Cruz seized the opportunity and pushed forward with his usual aggressive style, but he never truly had Davis in trouble. Even back then, Davis made it clear he wasn't impressed. He fought most of the later rounds with an injured left hand, but still did enough to win. Now, years later, with Cruz calling for a rematch and fans pushing the idea that he deserves another shot, Davis isn't worried. "I'll fight him again. I will stop him next time," Davis posted. It's not just confidence, it's a warning. Davis doesn't just believe he can beat Cruz again. He believes he can do it more convincingly, possibly even by knockout this time. And if history has shown anything, it's that Tank is a man of his word when it comes to putting people down. The bigger issue here is how fans continue to shape these narratives. If a fighter makes it to the final bell against Davis, people act like it's some sort of moral victory. If he doesn't score a knockout, suddenly it's seen as a sign that he struggled. But the truth is, winning a fight is winning a fight whether it ends in a knockout or a decision. Davis did what he had to do, and that's what matters.
Talking when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumped.
I'ma beat his ass.
He can't
y'all
do
talking.
shit. Wait,
For
I don't
real.
give a fuck.
So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was
All
quiet,
that
if y'all
ski
was-
mask and
if y'all
all
was
that.
loud,
They got
if y'all
the
was
hood
fucking
over
talking
there. Like twisted up. I don't give a fuck
Y'all
about none
can
of that.
do whatever
I don't
y'all
care about
want.
none
My
of that.
mother, he
I
can't
don't care
stop
about no
nothing
hood,
over
no
here.
none of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna fuck him up.
Not at all. Never.
This is the problem Davis has with fans and critics. No matter how much he wins, there's always something. Either the opponent wasn't good enough, the fight wasn't exciting enough, or someone else supposedly deserves a shot. It's never just about what he does in the ring. Cruz, for all his toughness, hasn't done enough to force a rematch. He's won a few fights since facing Davis, but none were against elite opposition, and while he's been vocal about wanting another shot, Davis sees no urgency in running it back. If the fight happens, it happens, but he doesn't see it going any differently. The reality is, Davis is at the top of the food chain. He doesn't need to chase anyone. The biggest fights will come to him because he is the biggest name in the division, whether it's Cruz, Garcia, or whoever else fans try to hype up next. He'll handle them just like he always does, because at the end of the day, they're all just another name on the list. Davis may have his hands full preparing for Lamont Roach, but that hasn't stopped fans from looking past the March 1st bout. To them, Roach isn't the fight they want. They're calling for something bigger, something worthy of Tank's talent. And at the top of that list, a rematch with Ryan Garcia or a high-stakes showdown with Teofimo Lopez.
On the fight, everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that.
Garcia has been pushing for another shot at Tank ever since their first fight ended in humiliation back in April 2023. Garcia entered the ring with confidence, but Davis made quick work of him, knocking him down in the second round before finishing him with a brutal liver shot in the 7th. It was a one-sided beatdown, one that left Garcia with no choice but to admit defeat. Yet, over time, his story has shifted. Now, Garcia insists he wasn't at his best that night, blaming everything from a supposed spy in his camp to a rehydration clause that limited his strength. He's rebuilt his momentum, knocking out Oscar Duarte in December 2023, and has since taken to social media practically, begging for a rematch.
Oh, stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
Davis, for his part, hasn't shown much interest. To him, Garcia had his chance and failed. But if the money is right, and it always is when Garcia is involved, a rematch could be on the table. However, there's another name starting to gain traction, Teofimo Lopez. Unlike Garcia, Lopez is a proven champion with real accomplishments under his belt. The former unified lightweight king shocked the world in 2020 when he defeated Vasily Lomachenko. After a brief setback against George Kambosos Jr., he bounced back by moving up to 140 pounds and dethroning Josh Taylor for the WBO junior welterweight title.
What? Who said that? You said what? You said what? Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just cut it out. Huh? 100? That's a bet.
Lopez has been vocal about his desire to face Davis, believing Tank has been taking easy fights and dodging true competition. Fans agree Lopez represents the real challenge, the kind of opponent that would force Davis to prove his greatness. A fight between them would be a true clash of styles. Lopez's explosive power and sharp boxing against Davis's precision and fight-tending ability. The problem is, Davis is locked in at 135 pounds for now, while Lopez is settled at 140, with Davis already set to face Roach. The timeline for a potential Lopez fight remains uncertain.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plants for White, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next? He say, I want all the guys.
But if Tank is serious about cementing his legacy, these are the fights that will define it. A Garcia rematch would be massive for business, but a Lopez fight, that's the one that would silence the doubters, because until Davis steps in with someone like Lopez, the criticism won't stop. Fans will keep asking the same question: when is Tank going to fight the real killers? What's your take? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.